Hey, so I wanted to do something very different, being that Young Justice is on hiatus and enough people have subscribed that I feel like it's a full obligation to you. And again, thank you very much. So, I wanted to talk about something a little different. Of course, remaining within the DC universe and in the DC animated lore. Of course, it had to be a cartoon. So, I wanted to talk about my favorite series of all time, which was Batman the Animated Series. And I want to talk about like I said, I don't know how long the hiatus will be, but I'm going to do one episode at a time. So I'm going to start with this episode. And again, these are in no particular order. Um, let's begin with Almost Got Him. Hopefully some of you are old enough to remember this. But this is, as you've probably heard me many times talk about, a good letting a story developing, twists and turns, keeping the audience guessing, and this is basically the personification of that. If you don't know, the episode Almost Got Him is it's ironic because it's just the villains again: Poison Ivy, Two-Face, Penguin, Killer Croc, and the Joker sitting around playing cards, not being villains, not trying to terrorize the city, not trying to rob banks, not trying to kill innocents. They were just sitting around playing cards, talking, each one trying to tell a story, more or less of one-upsmanship to who almost got Batman. Again, this episode for me was just amazing because the end completely blew me away, and for most people it did, and that reason alone is probably worth a lesson, or probably I would say a class on script writing and story writing alone. So each individual villain tells their story, uh, their own little plots, their own little intricate little schemes to get. They're scheming, they're schemers, and Dark Knight fans know what I just did about catching Batman. Started with Poison Ivy and her little tales, of course, using vines. Um, Next, I believe, if I wasn't mistaken, was Two-Face. And Two-Face told of his story and everything that happened and his little plot. And then I believe Killer Croc came. Killer Croc told an absolutely strange story for the actual setting, for the plot. But at the time, I was thinking, you know what? They only had a half an hour to do this episode, so I said that's why they tell a little cutesy little story about him throwing a rock at him, and it's funny unto itself. Next was the Penguin and his elaborate story. Of course, uses of birds and our bird sanctuary and all that. Lastly was the Joker, telling of his story about recently how he almost got him, and in almost getting him, he actually caught Catwoman, and he was going to do something bad to Catwoman later. But each story basically talked about everyone almost got him. Everyone, in the end, Batman outwitted them, outmuscled them, out um, cunning, cunning. Oh my God! But outthought them, and whatever situation was necessary to defeat every last one of them. But like I said, there was a little twist. Joker had Catwoman imprisoned, and what he was going to do is cut her up, put her into little I think he said cat food dish, and go off and send her to find a way to send her to Batman. That is when this whole episode took a interesting turn. When Croc said, "That's all I wanted to hear," and the voice, we all know who did the voice of Batman at the time was Kevin Conroy, who does most of the animated, which is distinctive to the animated Batman. Um, and you hear that voice, and you're like, "What?" He gets up, and that's another thing about good drawing and good artistry. How the shadow came over him, and the eyes, the silhouette was that of Batman. And oh my gosh, everyone was surprised and stunned. And like all of the villains pointed a weapon at him. It's like, oh, we got you. Like, no, you're not the only one good at setting a trap. Snap the fingers. Gotham City's finest. But with the Joker telling his scheme, he tells everything. He tells the details. Tells where the Catwoman is. So Batman goes rescues her, and all is safe. But again, this is just one of those episodes where it just makes me a long time lover of the DC universe and DC animation, and of course Bruce Timm. Um, this is one of my favorite cartoons of all time, and like I said, anything like Batman Justice League unto itself is my favorite because I don't own a lot of DVDs, but I own those, so I know they are my favorite. Um, that was really it. Um, like I said, I'm gonna try to do another one of another episode. I already have in mind what episode I want to do. Um, if you have any suggestions of an episode that you would like me to do, suggest it. Um, thank you very much. And again, thank you everyone that has subscribed, that watches my videos, and makes me somewhat feel relevant. Again, thank you very much. Again, this is my personal little opinion on this episode. Hopefully, I'm hoping next week I'll have another one up, but we'll see. Until Young Justice come back, I gotta do something. Take it easy. Peace.